1, 2, 3.
Oh, magical. That was the corniest stuff ever.
I hate it. I hated
I
every part of
hate
that.
it so much.
Yeah, I don't like any part of that. And my mic is flipped the wrong fucking way because I realized that the brace that I have here for my top-down views makes this table way too thick. So my mic is sideways.
You even have a top-down view? What the hell?
Yeah,
Why are
oh
you
yeah,
so
dude.
much more professional.
Bro, I have a top-down view. This thing is great. And it's not that expensive too. So I'll send you the link.
Yeah, but that only works if you have a really wide-angle camera, right?
I mean, yeah, I use the DJI up there.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, I could use that little Canon PowerShot V1 too, but that thing drains so much battery so quickly that I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, just my recording stopped.
On your computer?
Yeah, this is working great.
Yeah, dude.
Okay, now it's recording again. Supposedly, we don't know.
Yeah, we never really thought of like an intro or anything.
We haven't thought about anything. We still don't have a name for this yet. We don't have a concept. We don't have a script. We don't know anything.
What's up, bitches? Yeah, welcome back to another video, our first one. Dude, you know what? But maybe we just kick it off this way. Let's just start a podcast together. Yeah. This is
swinging.
Yeah, this is Sam and I's first attempt at a podcast. We thought about doing this about a year ago, and we set everything up. We thought about a script and everything, and then we never did it. So now we're here with nothing to talk about, like nothing lined up that we were going to talk about. We're just going to do it. And I think this is a good philosophy to content creation in general. It's just literally set this shit up and record. So I guess we could start off with, what the hell is Raven Artworx, and why are you and I even working together? You can kick it off.
Oh yeah, sure. Put the pressure on me.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I guess most of the people listening or watching this would already know either you or me or both. So we're both content creators in the EDC and knife industry. You being mostly on YouTube and me being mostly on Instagram. And so we've been working independently for quite a while now, for a couple of years. And we've both been self-employed for a couple of years. And while working independently all this time, we've always collaborated in one or the other way, whether it be on funny reels or photo. Blade Show. I think most people will know us from Blade Show videos because that's when we collaborate most of the times. And we just do random shit that make people laugh mostly. So we realized that with both of us being content creators, we both have our strengths. Yours being video and mostly, or more specifically, documentary style, very storytelling heavy videos. And my strength is more in photos and photo editing. And I think that the realization, at least for me, I don't know when it hit you, but for me, it was when we stayed in the Airbnb in Texas this year. And you had some collaboration knives coming out with Michael Jarvis from Aux Manufacturing, and even with Hyper Manufacturing or Hypercut Manufacturing. And so you wanted to film some videos and have some photos taken, but you dreaded the photo part. So you were waiting for me to arrive at the Airbnb to hand all the photos off to me, and then you just took care of the video. And it was so interesting watching you film the video, because for me, it's the other way around. I dread videos. I mean, I do a lot of videos, but it's mostly funny skits and then occasionally cinematic product overviews. But like talking head stuff and anything that has people talking, I would have to script it, because English isn't my first language to begin with, so that's another barrier for me. But it takes me so much time to figure out video. And for you just set everything up. You pulled some chairs together, sat everybody down, and had the talking head video. Or I think you even shot 3 or 4 talking head videos back to back within 20 minutes. And I was just sitting there watching it in awe, realizing that you are way better than I am at what you do. But then after that, I was taking photos, and I think you had the exact same realization the other way around. So that's when we realized we both have our strengths, and it's not easier, but more effective or more efficient, at least, if we could just play our strengths. But then instead of just saying no to every offer that doesn't play into our strengths, we could combine our efforts and just work on the project together. So we were talking about that in Texas. And then we tried it for the first time for the latest Navs release, the Capcom. So you did all the videos for that. I did all the photos for them. So we crafted this whole launch campaign basically for them. And I think it went really well. And since then, we've been teaming up and we made it official. We put a banner on it and called Raven Artworks because I already had the domain and the name, and my company is registered under this name. So it was just easier logistic-wise, at least, to use that name as an umbrella to work under as a team. And so yeah, that's basically what Raven Artworks is. And that's
here we
why
are now.
we are. Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Pretending to have a podcast.
yeah, I mean, it's very rare that you find another content creator that you're on the same wavelength, because everybody operates at a different speed in different fields. They specialize in different areas. So, for example, it would be difficult for a tabletop reviewer to collaborate with someone who only does comedy skits. So where's the overlap there, right? And even workflow-wise. And I think we have a very similar style, a very similar way to work, and similar standards to our own work. And I think that makes working together very easy.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think it's also the fact that we know and trust each other, and we're running the same circle, right? So
Yeah, exactly.
some of the people that I know. And I remember some of my favorite parts of announcing that we were working together is a lot of our knife maker friends and a lot of the brands that we admire being like, oh, like finally this happened. And I was like, well, it just took us a few years, but we got to this conclusion. But
I mean, I guess people have seen us as a team for a while now, because every time I run around at Late Show, people would ask me, well, where's Rikki? And I was always like, well, how the hell am I supposed to know? Ask him or ask Lexi at least.
Well, ask Taylor.
Or Taylor, exactly. But they were just assuming, because we were working together so much, that we would be some kind of team already. So I think announcing it officially has given the people the approval, or not the approval, but the confirmation that now it is official.
Yeah, 100%. And it's funny because for me, one of the things that you and I talked about at Texas, going back to like playing off our strengths, is that I started my whole account to take a break from video work. The Capt.Rikki Instagram page was supposed to be just a place for me to take photos of this new hobby that I discovered through watching some of Peter's videos and seeing Taylor's videos. And it's come full circle that, I've made it my career, as I always do with literally every endeavor. And it's not that I don't love taking photos anymore. I still enjoy it. But I think for a while now, I realized that I wanted to put more of my energy into the video storytelling side of things, because it made me feel more fulfilled in a sense than taking a photo. And I think a lot of that is also due to the fact that there are now so many great photographers out there that in my mind, as a creator, I'm like, well, I don't know what else I can add to it. Like, sure, I know how to take a pretty photo, but I can't tell that story in the same capacity through a photo as where you can, because you have the skills in Photoshop and you also have we were talking about this with the Anzo Aros photos that you
Mhm.
took. Like you take inspiration from things outside of photography, sometimes in photography, and bring them into knife photos.
Mhm.
My mind doesn't work that way for some reason. Like I don't see light in that way and think, oh damn, I'm gonna go take a shot tomorrow right there because the light is just I don't. Like for
Yeah.
me, it's like, oh, this maker said that this knife took him 12 years to make. All right, well, I'm gonna call him and find out why. Why did it take you so many years? So it's interesting how both of our creative brains work differently, but when we work together, it becomes such a cohesive project, a cohesive way to finish something. So I think that's also what makes us kind of a good pairing in a way.
Yeah, I think our content supplements each other very nicely.
Yeah.
So where I, as you said, I basically take a pretty snapshot of the moment, whether it's how the light hits or how the angle looks like or how the shadows fall, whatever it is. It's basically just a snapshot of the moment, while you take a more um like an overview approach to tell the bigger story and to tie all the pieces together. And I think you can tie both ends together and to paint a bigger picture with video and photography and use all kinds of media to basically tell the whole story. And I think that's very difficult to do with just one tool. But
Hmm.
when you combine all the tools available, then the final product becomes so much more um I don't know how to call it.
Like more
It draws
rewarding,
you
I
in
guess.
more.
Yeah, yeah, that I think that's probably the best way to say it. Talking about our strengths, I think I remember something we had written down on our piece of paper was talking about our backgrounds, like how you got into photo stuff, how I got into video stuff. Since I kicked you the first question, I'll kick this one off so
Oh,
that way
thank you.
we're even. Yeah, this is an even partnership. We're
Yeah.
in a very happy marriage, Sam and I. So my story with video stuff, I've always boiled it down to a quote that I got from a football coach when I was in high school, and that quote is, "Luck is when preparation meets opportunity." So
Yeah.
I never imagined that I'd become a videographer. My goal out of high school and when I got into fitness was to become like a fitness YouTuber at one point. But even if I go further back, my love starts with the fashion industry and photography. I wanted
Mhm.
to take photos of clothes and style and all that stuff. And that didn't really map out for me. I ended up not even going into fashion or any of that. But I did get into fitness heavily. And this was at the beginning of the fitness influencer. Like people were becoming fitness influencers on YouTube, and I thought it was really cool to document my journey. So I got a Canon EOS T3 bundle, baby, when it had like the
You
kit
start
lens.
documenting your own journey.
Yeah, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I decided to buy that camera and become a fitness influencer. And I failed miserably. I felt so bad. I
Also,
liked
what do you
I
consider
li-
failing?
Well, I liked the idea of filming myself, but at the time I knew nothing about cameras and I didn't even think
Mhm.
to like go on YouTube and learn about them. So here I was trying to film vlog videos with a Canon EOS T3 with no flip out screen. Half the
Mhm.
time I'd film stuff and it was completely out of focus or like I was shooting the ceiling, the fucking people behind me. It was awful. So I was like, I don't know, man. And I did that for a couple of years. I upgraded the camera to something else. And little by little, I decided, like, you know what? Maybe YouTube's not it for me. Like, maybe I'll go into Instagram because that's
Mm.
easier. I can film with my phone. I don't have to worry about all this shit that I don't know about.
Oh, you
And I
still
started,
consider doing video on Instagram?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly. At the time, I was doing like weightlifting reels or I'd put together little things of my workouts. And
Were
that was,
reels even a thing back then?
no, not reels, just videos. Like,
Oh,
a
okay. Like
square, a
square
four by
videos?
four.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4x4.
Nice.
This was back in the day, it's like 2012 Instagram. Uh
Nice.
So yeah, I was doing my fitness videos. But somewhere along the way I got caught up with working retail stuff, and me documenting my process didn't really become this idea of like I want to become a fitness influencer. It was just I'm just gonna post my fitness stuff on Instagram and call it a day. Well, I got a job working for Louis Vuitton at retail in the retail
Oh,
space.
look at you.
And I was fancy with my
Fancy.
little suit on and everything. And in walks in this dude with a Zelda shirt and cargo shorts. And I'm in Louis Vuitton, right? So like it's
Yeah.
hard not to have that piece of your brain that's like, this freaking guy's not gonna buy shit. Like I'm gonna waste my time. But that's not how my brain works. So I went up to him and I was like, hey man, how are you? And him and I chatted for a bit. He ended up buying like 3 grand worth of stuff. And I was like, hey man, what do you do for a living if you don't mind me asking? He's like, oh, I make YouTube videos. And I was like, oh, no way. Like I I want to do that. I
Yeah.
want to make YouTube videos. And he's like, dude, I just moved. Like, come film some stuff with me and hang out. Well, little did I know that the dude I was talking to was Scott Herman, who is a one of the first guys on fitness YouTube. At the time that I met him, he had 1 million subscribers. He had been on The Real World. Like, he had a pretty interesting career, not only in
Yeah.
fitness, but on TV. And I was like, holy shit. Like, okay. So I would go and hang out with him and, click record for him and learn a little bit about cameras through him.
Mhm.
And at some point I reached that stage where I was like, hey man, like, can I work for you? Like, I'll hold the camera. I'll do whatever the hell you want. I just want to learn how to do this. And I ended up working for him for about a year with no pay, just learning how to edit, learning how to use a camera, trying to
Yeah.
wrap my head around like what he did. And dude, from there on, like it kicked off projects with music producers, with WWE guys. I ended up working for Doc Antle from the Tiger King, which is super cool. And I pretty much learned as much as I could every step of the way. And it felt like every career that I had was kind of like a stepping stone. I learned a lot
Yeah.
from this guy, and that led me to the next guy, and so on and so forth. And I
You
mean,
know
to
that
this day,
saying
still learning.
where what is that saying? Always look for the room where you're the dumbest guy in the room. That's basically the same thing, right? You're always looking for people that you
Yep.
can learn from or that you can take something away from.
Yeah,
And
100%. And that was truly it. Like I learned a ton from Adam Ivy. Honestly, it's because of Adam that I even started the Capt.Rikki page because that
who's
idea,
Adam Ivy?
he is a music producer. He was the
Oh, okay.
second dude that I worked for full time. He was actually my very first like full-time gig. I didn't work anywhere else. I just did YouTube for him.
Oh, okay.
Um, and he did music producing, but also social media marketing. So I started the Capt.Rikki page as a side project for me to just take photos, and then it became a case study. So he was teaching people that the best way to grow an Instagram page is to be active in the community. So
Mm.
when I first started my Capt.Rikki page, I was everywhere. I was commenting on people's posts, DMing
Yeah, I
them to
remember that.
figure out, yeah, like what knives you had, like who makes that. And I grew that Capt.Rikki page from like I can't remember now, maybe 100 followers to like 2 to 3 thousand in like the span of a month and a half. And it was
Hmm.
just me talking to everybody that I could.
Yeah.
Um, and that kind of got me there. But yeah, that's like a very summarized story of how I got here, because otherwise we'd be here for like 3 hours if I got into every detail of how I got to where I am. And maybe we can save that for another episode. But yeah, luck, a lot of
I
opportunity,
remember
and
that.
preparation.
Yeah. Dude, it's always like boils down to luck. You can be the best guy, but if you don't have the luck to be at the right place at the right time, then you might miss the opportunity completely. And
Yeah.
I think I know exactly right what the place and the time was for both of us. It was I don't remember, it was 3 or 4 years ago at Blade Show. Ben Peterson had a dinner at a Mexican restaurant, which wasn't that good actually.
Yeah.
But
It was
he
awful.
invited yeah, yeah. He invited a bunch of people and we showed up and brought even more people. So I think we ended up being like 35 people or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And you were one of those people. And at that point, I've only seen you in on Instagram comments.
Yep.
I knew of you. I've seen your photos. I knew that you've been doing some sort of animal documentary photography, whatever that was.
Yep.
And then there you were at the dinner table. I think you were even sat across from my table, and then I think we started talking then, but then didn't stay in touch after that. And
Yep.
then you started working for Taylor.
Yep.
Was it also because of that dinner? Because Taylor
Yeah.
was there too.
Yeah, that dinner kicked every dude, and
Yeah.
this is what I mean by luck, and to what you said about being at the right place at the right time. That Blade show was my first time ever working for someone. I worked for Ben Peterson and Joseph Vero at that Blade show. I worked for Ben and Joseph. I did that gig, and at one point Dave's like, "Hey, so I'm seeing you at the Navs party, right?" And I was like, "No, what Navs party?" And he was like, "Oh, it's a Navs party. Just ask Ben. Like, maybe he'll invite you." And I went up to Ben and I was like, "Hey, man, so you want to hang out after the show?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I actually have a dinner. Like, come by." But if I didn't have the balls to be like, "Hey, Ben, so like, what are you doing later?" I would have never gone to that dinner. And truthfully, I can't say in certainty that I would have never worked for Taylor. But after that, after every single Blade show, I send a ton of text messages just saying, "Hey, man, it was really good seeing you," so on and so forth. And after that Blade show, I sent a DM to Taylor and was like, "Hey, man, it was really great meeting you. I do video full time. Like, if you ever need an editor or if you ever need a hand, like, let me know, man. I'd love to do some stuff with you." And he had an employee at the time, so it didn't map out. But like 2 or 3 months later, he was like, "So, what do you do? What kind of videos do you edit?" And that led to this. So yeah, a bunch of just like crazy luck, being in the right place at the right time, and also in a way not being afraid to get out there and kind of go for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's what Blade Show basically is for, right? It's networking and getting to know people and talking to people. That's what we do 99% of the time while we're there.
Hands down.
It's
No
just
content.
yapping. Yeah, no yapping.
Yeah.
It's the way we went into this podcast is exactly the way we go into every single Blade Show. We try to make a plan and then we start a list. And once we're there, we never take a look at the list once again. And then we just wing it.
Yep. Here's a big secret. Sam and I film pretty much 90% of our reels for Blade Show on Sunday. On the last day of the show.
Yeah.
And the
It's
funny
always,
part
hey, dude, remember that video we wanted to film? Yeah. When do we want to do that? Oh, tomorrow. And then on Saturday, it's like, let's do it tomorrow. And on Sunday, we're like, dude, we haven't filmed anything. We should probably start filming.
Yeah. When do you want to film that video? Tomorrow. It's Sunday. Cool. Let me go grab my camera. We'll go film that right now.
This year in Atlanta, we kicked it off so well. I think we filmed like 4 videos the first day. And then on the second day, we didn't film anything. And then I think we filmed the rest on Sunday.
Just to be clear, if there happens to be any knife companies listening to this, Sam and I do film for Joseph Barrow and a couple other brands the first couple days. We're talking about our work here, us and our specific videos.
It's just a criticism of our own workflow, but we always get the shit done.
Yeah, 100%, hands down. Okay, so now that they all know a little bit about my story, now it's your turn. Tell us how you turned into the Photoshop wizard that you are now.
I think so. I was always a very visual guy. So whenever I was watching movies, I'm always drawn to colors and composition and lighting and stuff without even knowing what any of that means. So then, remember back in the day when there were still magazines with demo versions of programs?
Yeah.
So my dad realized I was interested in photo manipulation, basically. I just used Microsoft Paint back then to cut out my own wallpapers and make them for my computer. So then he bought me a magazine that has a demo CD of Photoshop. And I installed that and worked my way through the tutorial that was printed in the magazine. And I was hooked ever since. So I started doing Photoshop and photo manipulation at the age of 11, I think.
Damn.
And then I started editing other people's photos using Photoshop to the point where I was like, oh man, I wish they had shot this photo just a little bit different, then I could have edited it a little bit differently. And it annoyed me so much how other people could have achieved so much better photos have they shot it differently. So then I eventually bought my own camera and started shooting myself. And that turned into me shooting nightclubs and concerts and festivals while I was in university to make a little side money. And I was shooting portraits as well. So I loved photography and videography a little bit, but more so photography. And then I got a kid and started a family. So then obviously shooting nightclubs and festivals went out the window. And I realized after a while that I haven't touched my camera in quite a while. And so I picked it up again just to have an outlet for myself after coming home from work and taking care of the kids. So then just to have something to do at the end of the day for myself. So I started shooting, and as a challenge to myself, basically, I started shooting products because I've never shot products before. Only shot, again, people and concerts, events and stuff. So then I started doing these desk setup videos of my MacBook's setup and home office stuff. And then it turned into showing my gear pouches with all my cables and hard drives and SD cards and stuff. And I've always been a fan of accessorizing. So I was looking for pouches to keep my stuff organized in, or tools to make my life a little bit easier. And because I used to skateboard and I used to build fixed gear bikes and stuff. So I had a tool pouch, and eventually I found out that it's probably useful to have a Swiss Army knife in there. So then from the Swiss Army knife, I went to a dedicated pocket knife. And then those knives started to show up in my photos. And so because my first pocket knife was a CRKT Squid, I think CRKT or Boker were the first brands who reached out to me because they saw my photos online on Instagram. And then, so it kind of took off by accident. I never intended to be a EDC knife photographer. It just happens to be what I was taking photos of at the time. And it just happens that I was taking them in a way that nobody else was doing them at that time. Because at that time, when I started doing them, everybody was just doing hand dumps with their phone.
Yeah.
Which is fair. I mean, people were just sharing what they had. And I didn't know better because the only photos I took were portraits or event photography. So it's very stylized, heavy on the lighting, and with my background in Photoshop, it was heavy on the editing. So I guess my photos stood out. And so more and more brands started reaching out. And it took off to the point where, at that point, I was still working full time as a mechanical engineer. And then I reached a point where I was able to ask myself the question whether I want to pursue the photography side full time. And I was thinking about it, and I would probably kick myself when I'm 80, looking back, thinking, well, I wonder what would have happened if I had taken the chance. And I didn't want to ask myself the question when I'm 80. So I took the leap and just went full time and into self-employment. And it has worked out fairly
Yeah.
well since then, I think.
I think we're doing okay.
Yeah.
Your set is fake, like your background. You're not even in a house right now.
Look, I've made a video once where I was saying exactly that everything is fake. Everything you see in social media is fake. That all my knives are basically Temu ripoffs.
Yeah.
And all the coins are just cardboard cutouts, and my whole background is just AI generated. Good. I mean, I love it.
I think they would have been great. I think you should have. Dude,
Yeah.
it's crazy to think though, because when I got into EDC, that was around the time that Pete was making the EDC videos. And for me, like the start, I actually wanted to ask you, where did Raven the pirate start from? But selfishly, I'm just gonna say that for me, it all started watching Pete, realizing that there was a thing called EDC around pocket knives or whatever, finding Taylor, and then when I got on Instagram, that was the stuff that I was seeing. So I must have caught your account because I made my Capt.Rikki account. I think it was the tail end of 2019, maybe like June
Mhm.
of 2019 or something like that. And at that time, yes, I saw the hand dump photos, but that was around the time when you were posting your photos. I saw
Yeah.
Kirk and Peter and all these other people posting their photos. So that was the only thing that I knew going into it. But I never
Mhm.
thought that you were seeing the hand dump stuff and you would be the one to kind of like, not just solely you, but a group of people starting that trend of like, let's make pretty pocket knife photos.
Yeah, I think it was. I mean, Peter McKinnon was the driving force behind it, because he is a knife guy and he's a photography guy first and foremost. But people started to realize that pocket knives make really good props and photos. So there was a huge movement from photography guys going into EDC because they realized that it's just fun to shoot an inanimate product, and knives are just pretty to look at. And um, that movement from the photo community into the EDC community prompted the EDC guys to step up their photo game. So all in all, the level of quality in the EDC and knife world just raised through the roof. And it
Mm-hmm.
was amazing to see, but also kind of frustrating because everything started to look kind of the same,
Yeah.
especially with Peter coming in. Everybody wanted to be the next Peter. So every single photo had coffee beans in them and leather, wood, and whatnot. So yeah, I think we're all guilty of
Oh,
doing that.
100%. Absolutely. I mean, at the time, for me, I knew nothing about photography. I didn't know anything about lighting. I was actually learning a ton from a guy that I consider my mentor, my buddy Will, MB Wild. I
Mhm.
mean, his photos to me were like the best thing ever. So I was trying to, if you go all the way down to the beginning of my feed, you can see that I little by little started learning about lighting, about composition, about having depth, because at one point all of my photos were that was a coin on a pile of fucking coffee beans, my
Yeah.
knife on top of a random freaking book. Like there was no real art to it, and I think that's to this day, I really do think that that's what separates some of the photographers in the EDC community and in general is there is very much an artistry to taking that pretty photo of a pocket knife. And you can kind of tell who has been working on that and who is still trying to emulate that, like Peter McKinnon, you, like some of the other really great photographers.
Sure. Yeah, and I think it's this back then it was the difference between taking a snapshot with your phone and a staged photo. And nowadays it's more the difference between a pretty photo and a pretty photo that also tells a story. I think
Mhm.
that's the difficulty behind it.
Yeah. Where
Again, you want
did,
to hear a
where
funny
did,
story?
yeah, yeah.
I don't think I've ever told that story. So
Yes.
back when Peter McKinnon grew in the EDC world or became known as the knife guy, he blocked me on Instagram because
What?
because he saw that account that was vibe wise was very similar to his style.
Yeah.
And I always had that style. But he saw my photos and said, "Oh, he's taking photos of pocket knives in a very similar style, and his name is something pirate. Oh no, he must be copying me." So he blocked me instantly, and I think I was blocked for at least I don't know, at least half a year, at least if not longer. And then one day, out of the blue, I got a message from Peter McKinnon or from Pete's Pirate Life asking me if I wanted to take some photos of this coin that he was releasing. I think it was his first Pete's Pirate Life coin. And then we started talking and we became friends. And then after a couple months of talking and regularly talking, and then we started messaging on iMessage, and I started talking about kids and whatever. And then I just said to him, dude, do you remember blocking me when we first started? I said, and he was like, yeah, I know, that was kind of childish. I said, yeah, what made you unblock me? I said, I don't know. He realized that it was immature to block someone solely on the assumption that he's doing what you do, and then realizing that whatever it is that you do, you're not the inventor of it either.
Yeah.
So then he unblocked me and realized, so you would have so many more opportunities. Or if he hadn't unblocked me, we wouldn't have become friends. We wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to work together on multiple occasions. And so yeah, I think it was a pretty cool move from him.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I think it's just a funny story that
That's a
because so
hysterical
many people now tag me in Pete's pirate life related photos because they think I am Pete's pirate life. Because I guess they just type in pirate and tag the first guy. And then sometimes even at Blade Show, they ask me whether I know if Pete would come or what Pete is up to. Or I'm like, dude, how the hell am I supposed to know? So they just associate me with him for some reason.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
hysterical. Funny to kind of mirror your story without the blocking. For me, the Capt.Rikki handle came from Kirk because at the end of the day, Kirk is a videographer. I was a videographer.
Sure.
I of course, like I learned a ton from Peter's videos, but Kirk was the guy that I wanted to get to know because I'm like, man, your work is incredible. Like I'd love to learn things from you. So my Capt.Rikki handle came from Kirk. And once him and I met and chatted and built a friendship together, I can't remember what we did, but he sent me a DM once, and it was a knife company reaching out to him and being like, "Hey, Rikki, we just dropped a whole bunch of knives. Do you want to check one of these out?" And I remember him texting me and be like, "Is this a problem?" And I was like, "Dude, if they can't tell the difference between Captain Kirk and Capt.Rikki, take the knives, man. Tell them, yeah. Tell them I want everything that you're selling right now."
Dude, also, when Workshop first made their professional Precision Adjust Pro, the higher end version of the Precision Adjust, they made a first run of, I think, 20 units, and specifically made them for different creators. And so they sent them out to the creators, and each of them had a little metal plaque on there saying, first edition, custom made for, and then it would have the creator's name engraved on the plaque. Mine showed up, and it says, first edition, custom made for Peter McKinnon. And I took a photo of that. And I took a photo of that and sent it to Josh to Kyle from Workshop. Say, dude, I think you guys mixed something up. And he's like, oh no, I need to have a word with our shipping department. We'll send you a new one. I was like, no, dude, I think this is kind of hilarious. So I texted Peter saying, yo, Pete, look what showed up at my doorstep. And then he texted me back a photo of his Precision Adjust, which has my name on it. And he says, no, I'm never changing that. I'm keeping that one. I think,
dude, I think I'm gonna, I think at every Blade show, people are like, hey, where's Peter? I'm gonna just point to you and be like, yeah, he's right there. What are you talking about?
So now sometimes when you look at product photos, I sometimes use the Precision Adjust just as a prop in the background. And if you see a photo of mine that has a Precision Adjust in the background, you'll probably see Peter McKinnon's name on there.
Dude, nice little Easter egg in there. Yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, dude, I love that. Man, I think it's so fun to think about even just that aspect of things, like knowing where we started to where we are now, and having the opportunity to have friendships with people that are also doing really cool things and working with knife companies that you look up to and you admire their work. I think that's probably one of like the greatest joys that I feel when we get to do stuff like this, is knowing that number one, that the hard work paid off, but number two, that you get to enjoy such a fun hobby with so many like-minded people. I think above all, I always think that that's the most important part. Like, even if this all were to come crashing down at some point, I would at least know that if I go to a Blade show, I can still see all of my buddies and hang out and do fun stuff.
And Blade Show is a culmination of everything. You have like-minded people in the sense that everybody likes knives, but also there are so many creators running around. For some reason, I don't know if it's that way for you too, but I still feel weird filming myself, especially when I'm out in public. So sometimes I would film myself or take photos of myself in the woods, for example, if I do an outdoors shoot. And I will always make sure that nobody's around before I set up my camera and shoot myself. Because I still feel weird. But when I'm at Blade Show, everything goes out the window because there are so many creators running around with cameras in their hand, vlogging themselves or vlogging each other. And then us doing the stupid, most random shit on the show floor isn't as crazy anymore. So you pretending to be Cougar running around the floor or us having Joseph Vero jumping over the table isn't as crazy anymore, and you feel just normal.
Dude, we've desensitized so many people now. Like they think it's normal to run up like a cougar at Blade Show. I don't know if that's a good thing.
Sometimes when you look at our videos from Blade Show, you can see people in the background just walking by and just go like, "What the fuck is that?"
I do remember. I think it was Blade Show Atlanta last year, where I can't remember the context of the video, but you had me stand in one of the halls by myself, pointing up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
To this day, I hate myself for doing it. It was hysterical, but like I watched that video and I'm like, all these people think I'm just an idiot.
Of all the things that we've done, that's the one you're embarrassed of?
No, the cougar one by far. The cougar one is the worst one. I hate that video so much. I love the idea. I hate the video.
The funny thing is, what I love about working with you is nothing is off limits. Absolutely nothing. It's just for anybody that hasn't seen the video, it's basically we were talking with Cougar Kyle, who was famously known as the one who has been running in the mountains and being attacked by an actual cougar. So we thought it would be a cool idea to just recreate that video, and then who's better suited to play a cougar than Rikki? So we had Rikki playing the cougar, just running towards the camera, going wow.
I love the fact that Brantley sold it to me as you have the hair. Cougars aren't lions. No, cougars don't have hair just like in the wind. They're freaking cougars, man. They don't have hair like that. But that's what Brantley.
You were running around the floor, just growling at Kyle.
We took that video 3 times on top of that. So not only did I embarrass myself once, but 3 separate times. Because Sam over here, he's like, well, let's go get another angle from the sides now. I was like, no, we don't need that. Oh my God. But it was worth it. It was worth it. I look back at that video, and even though I hate it, I do smile every time. I cry a little though. Something that I wanted to touch on now, as we're kind of talking about Blade Show and the community, is Sam and I did a little Q&A thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, my questions are completely unhinged. I think there's
you always get the most random stuff on your questions. I did the same thing. I started a poll and asked people to send me questions, and they're very serious. They're like, when's the next coin drop? What is your motivation and stuff? And your questions are almost always completely unhinged.
No, I'll go first just to show you what the kind of questions I get. Need the hair routine for both, please. Apple or orange juice? Favorite juice?
What is it? Was it the same guy with the juice?
No, they're 2 different guys. Oh yeah, there's 2 different guys. One asked me apple or orange. The other one asked me favorite juice. I also have one guy who asked who has better hair routine. That's all my shit is. It's a bunch of hair stuff.
I got the same question. I asked who has the better hair, you or Rikki?
I regret to inform every single one of you, but I use like the cheapest shit on my hair. It's actually kind of embarrassing. Like I'll buy whatever whatever shampoo or conditioner is on sale. I don't really take care of this as I should, but everybody's just like, what do you do with your hair? And most of you asking don't even have long hair anyway, so he's asking.
They use the same product just for the beard. I guess it's just you and me. We both have very long hair, so it's over the shoulder, and it's kind of curly, so it just looks very luscious.
I guess so, but everybody's interested. But yeah, I mean, there's some serious questions in here, so we can get a serious one going. But that's what you got coming from my end. What is this? Okay.
How long does it take to scroll down to find a serious question?
Dude, it's just because there's one of them is why are full beards superior to mustache and goatees? I had to take a moment to like find something serious. There's like maybe one or two in here that are serious. Give me a freaking second here. What are your favorite? Ooh, okay. Are there any popular knife brands or EDC companies you don't believe are worth the hype? Are we gonna get spicy as the first one?
I don't give a shit. They probably won't listen to this podcast anyway.
Any brands I don't think are worth the hype. The problem is that I don't think there's anything that I own that's like very hype, in my opinion. Not right now, at least. Yeah, I don't know. I can't think
I
of
mean,
a
it
damn
depends
thing.
on what you define as hype. I mean, every brand has their own fanboy group that hype their own brand. So Medford has their fan base that is hyping their own brand, which is completely and utter bullshit. But I don't know if there's a general hype about a brand that is not worth it.
Yeah.
The one thing about knife guys or knife people in general is they are very particular and very specific when it comes to their brand. So they will rarely hype a brand that they will not support.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think that's why, I mean, I don't know, like whenever I shop for stuff, I don't typically go off of the hype if I'm seeing it everywhere. I kind of go based off of the general consensus of what I hear other people say. But I'll be honest, like now that I get to do this for a living, if I see something I like, I just buy it. I don't really
Same.
I don't do as much research because I'd like to think that I know enough to make a decision to purchase something that I like. So yeah, I'm sorry. That doesn't even answer the question at all, but I just don't think there's anything hyped up that I don't agree with right now.
Yeah. So what would be a brand that is hyped up right now?
Sheesh. I don't know. I can't think of anything hyped up.
Oh, I think one that is being talked about a lot currently is hawk knives. But they deserve it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Hawk has not only such a crazy history, but what product has Hawk released that hasn't lived up to that hype? The Talon is great. The Deadlock is great.
You know what?
Everything.
I actually don't like the design of the Talon. So
really?
I don't like it at all. But so it's the mechanism behind it and the story behind that fascinates me. So I just like it, but not because I dig the design.
I actually share that same sentiment. When I first, so Gavin had reached out when the Talon was about to drop and set one for me to do a rudimentary on. And when I got it, I was like, man, I don't think I like the design. The mechanism is so fun and fidgety, but there was something about the design that I didn't love. But it's been, I think, 2 years since I made that video, and now I kind of want one. And I don't know if I want one because the design is growing on me. I think that might be part of it. But I think I want one because now I've gotten to do a handful of projects with Gavin, and I understand more of his design language, and I was able to talk to some of the people behind the work that now owning it makes me feel like happy because I know the thought process that went behind that design.
Yeah.
And that's typically 99% of my knife purchases now. Like I don't buy knives to just have another pocket knife. It's really like, does something about this speak to me? Even if it's not just the design right away, is there something about this that I gravitate to because I now know the story of it?
Yeah. So I think that was actually one of my questions. So I think somebody asked, what are you looking for in a new knife? And for me, it's I can appreciate different aspects of a knife. So it's either a design that I like or the mechanism that I find really fascinating. Because unlike you, I like to tinker with stuff. I like to find out how things work or why it was designed the way it was designed. So I take things apart. I like to study how the mechanism works. And the mechanism in all of the hawk knives are fascinating.
Hmm.
And so that's what I gravitate towards most in his designs. But then also the people behind the brand and the story of a brand. Sometimes I don't even like the product, but I still support them because I like the people, I like the story, I like the drive behind the brand and where they came from and where they're now. And I don't know, it's the whole package that makes me fascinated with the product or the whole
Hmm.
industry in general.
Yeah, that's fair. It's funny. I don't really, I think with knives, I don't give myself as much of a break on the design aspect. Like I almost have to, I have to like something aesthetically about it for me to buy it, even if it
Mhm,
means like not supporting a friend or a maker who I really admire, which is why I'm probably looping back to the Talon now, 2 years after the fact, because I've
mhm.
got to know Gavin and I have a deadlock and just that story. But I'm way more open to doing that with pocket art. I have so
Yeah,
much pocket art and I don't carry a lot of it, but I buy it because to me, I'm like, oh, well, that's okay. Like, even if I don't carry it, like, I don't know, I'll keep it, I'll use it for a prop or I'll have it displayed somewhere in my office. I do that a lot more with pocket art, and it's usually less expensive.
but I think with pocket art doesn't have a function in the first place. So
Most of it, yeah.
you can't rate it based on that. With pocket knife, you can say, "Oh, I don't know, the ergonomics are bad, so I can't really use it," or the pocket clip trashes my pants, so I don't carry it, or anything like that. But with pocket art, there is no metric that you can rate regarding the function.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you're going purely on aesthetics or the person who made it. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
was that the question you got? How you buy pocket knives?
That was one of the questions. Um, there's another one. Okay, so what's your dream spot to host Blade Show at?
Dude,
If you could choose.
right here by the beach.
By the beach? Yeah, that was probably my answer too. Just not I mean, when you're doing Blade Show, you don't see anything of the outside anyway because you're inside
Yeah.
just looking at tables and booths. But it's nice to when the show closes, it's nice to go out and have something to do outside the show. That's why I probably like Blade Show Texas a little bit more than I like Blade Show Atlanta
Hmm.
because you're in the middle of Fort Worth or downtown Fort Worth, so you have a ton of bars, restaurant places to go. And okay, I guess in Atlanta you have the pit, but that's the only thing you have basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything else is driving distance. I'd probably say the same. Followed by Utah, because Utah has a nice little area around it too with bars and restaurants and stuff
I've
like
never
that.
been to Utah.
Oh, dude, when you go, I think you'll like it a lot.
Yep.
I think for me, jokingly, anywhere where I don't have to drive or fly. Same for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
as I
I
as I
guess.
talk to you who's in Germany.
Yeah, but then again, it always feels like vacation.
Yeah, that's also true. I could definitely see that. For me, it feels like vacation as well. It's just
Mm.
sometimes I'm like,
Especially when you have an Airbnb like that, the one that Michael booked for us in
yeah,
Atlanta.
no, 100%. And I think the company is a big deal too. Like, I think
Oh yeah.
I would maybe not have as much of a fun time if I went to Blade Show on my own. But I think
Hmm.
so far every year that I've gone, I've always roomed up with a buddy or had the big Airbnb with all of us. So
Yeah.
I agree with that. Um, there was one that I had here. Where did it go? Um, so it's college student here. How can I get into this business of knives? I don't
I
know.
have the exact same question.
Do you?
Of
That's
probably of the
hysterical.
same college student.
Yep. I don't know if he means like how to get into knife making or content creation, I would say.
On my
I
question, it says I want to get into product design, I think. What was it?
Oh, see, if it's product design, then I don't have a
Yeah,
straight.
yeah.
I
Hi,
mean,
I'm a college student. I'm looking to get into the design industry. How do I start?
honestly, you should take that because as a brand
I
new
don't know
knife
if,
designer.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if he means product design in general or knife design specifically. Um, because with knife design, I don't know if I'm the right person to ask that because I'm coming from a very privileged position where I already had a lot of connections to different brands and I already established a working relationship with a lot of brands. So a lot of them have already asked me to design something for them, and I've always said no for the longest time. Um, so then, when I was eventually ready to do a design, I just reached back to a company that I was already working with. I've already had a very friendly working relationship with, and that already asked me to design for them, which is We Knives. So I actually wouldn't know how to approach them if you didn't have any kind of relationship with them. So, but probably your best bet is probably just reaching out to them. Almost every brand has an email address for general inquiries or sales related questions. And then if you can pitch your design and basically um, treat it as a job interview. So you have to convince them why it's a good idea to do your design, whether it's whether you have a revolutionary mechanism or a timeless design, or you're riding the hype train that is currently going on, or whatever reason there is. You have to convince them why it's a good idea to work with you and why your design is better than all the 500 other designs that they got this week.
Yeah, I
So
think
it's
that's a good
whether
idea.
that's yeah, whether it's making a little pitch deck or a little presentation or whatever that is, whatever that may look like. I think
Yeah, I
that's
think
your
it's
best bet.
it's it's funny that you say the pitch deck because there's a buddy who has gone to the last few Blade shows, and what he does is he designs a bunch of stuff at home, puts pen to paper, puts it in CAD, and then he goes to Blade show with like a binder with
Mhm.
designs, and then goes from OEM to OEM and kind of
Yeah.
shops the design that way. So I think that could be it too. I would probably advise from the little bit that I know, but from the conversations I've had with other knife designers is to come to a blade show with some form of design. I mean, look at
Oh, yeah.
Deadman Design. Matt's a great
Yep.
example. Matt came with like a 3D prototype, a
Mhm.
3D printed prototype, and then handed that to me, to you, and to quite a lot of people. So that way people can kind of visualize what you're trying to accomplish here. And I'm sure that opens up that door much faster than to just tell people like, "Hey, I'm designing a knife. Can I show it to you, when it's done?" And it's like, well, when it's
Yeah.
done, so much already has gone by maybe that you might miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah. And I mean, if you treat it exactly like a job interview, you wouldn't go into a brand new company with no references or um nothing to back up your work and just say, "Hey, I want to work for you." And like, "Okay, what can you show us?" And then if you can't show them anything or have proof of your previous work, then what would make the company hire you? So that, but
Yeah.
then if you go in and say, "Hey, I used to manage that company, and I used to be, or I used to run this company successfully," and I don't know what kind of resume you would have, but then at least you would have their attention, and what you
Hmm.
do with their attention then is a different step.
Yeah, 100%. Come show up with some sort of concept, and that would make
Yeah.
a ton of difference. Um,
Yeah.
what's one more question that you have? Because I'm noticing that my camera over there is gonna die. So maybe we
Yeah.
wrap it up with one more question. A
Mine
good
died
one.
already, so I'm just hoping
Oh,
that
nice.
that the screen recording would save us.
Oh, dude, good. Yeah, the screen recording is gonna be great. I'm so
It's
glad we
going.
did this.
This podcast is going great.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
dude.
so this is an interesting one. So this from Joe James. What is the
Yes.
driving motivation in your art? Not in business, but in the work itself.
Oh, for me, it's trying to show people why stuff matters. Because I think now
Mm.
more than ever, commercialism is running rampant, and in an age where we can go on Amazon and buy a new thing and have it here tomorrow. I
Mhm.
think it's always going to be important for me to know where things come from and why they were made. And I would hope that that's what I am doing with the work that I do,
Mhm.
is introducing people, not introducing, but showing them that what they are purchasing is not just like a object, but the way that they are supporting someone who made this thing, their family, their everything that comes with that.
I mean, it makes sense, and it definitely shows in your videos because you've made a couple of videos on very expensive items. I remember the one on what was that? Um, Hulk House? No, what are they called? Oh,
The
okay.
video you're talking about is the Hog House Belly.
Yeah, exactly that one. Full custom. I think it was close to $1,000 or even over $1,000.
Yeah, I think it's like
And
1450.
yeah, so but you made very good points on why it's just from a craftsmanship perspective, it's very high end and detailed to the max. And so you made a very, or at least you showed a different perspective on something that is just at the end of the day is an inanimate object with a
Mhm.
very hefty price tag on it. But then giving it a spin and showing all the backgrounds and ins and out and who is making it and how they're making it. And I feel like that is the information that most of us are missing as the end consumer. And
Mhm.
so that that's the part of content creation that usually that is left on the table because you only show the finished product, but you don't show how it's made or who makes it or where it's made.
Yeah,
And I
and I
feel
think
like
it's yep.
adding that information gives a product so much more value. Not even monetary value, but just emotional value.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it's also, I mean, from my perspective, I don't know everything there is to know about blade steels and lock bar interfaces and titanium. And like I don't nerd out on that stuff, but inherently there is value in people learning how to make this thing.
Yeah.
And that value, when you are buying a machined knife or a handmade knife, that value comes from what that person's experience, right? Like those
Mhm.
boys started in a pig farm and then
Yeah.
they with like an old CNC mill, and then they had to make these knives and people loved them enough to buy them, and that allowed them to upgrade their shop, and then now they can produce these like beautifully machined knives. And if you
Mhm.
don't get that side of the picture, all you're seeing in these guys with these all you are seeing is two guys working in this beautiful shop with all these machines making cool
Yeah.
knives. Then you're like, well, why the fuck am I going to buy that when I can go buy X knife for way less money? But
Yeah.
it's like they started in a pig farm and it's called Hog House because they started
Yeah.
like
That is so
like
much cooler.
I'm like, that is such a fun story. And you're not paying $1,400 for just material. You're paying $1,400 because these guys spent years learning how to do this craft. And now you get to hold that every day and use it. And it's a wonderful knife. It performs beautifully too. So you're getting a high quality tool. But yeah, I think that's in my eyes, I think that's what's most important when what I prioritize and what I hope people see in the art that I make.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the same for you, but for me, I get so many products sent to me that I take photos of that I reach a point where I'm just fatigued. I'm just not as excited about knives anymore because it's another knife on there. I mean, it's a good problem to have, and I know it's a very privileged. I'm very privileged to be in a situation like that, but I constantly reach a point where I'm very fatigued. But then the next Blade show comes around, and then you get to talk to all these people. You get to know all the stories behind them, how the knives were made, or how they were designed, or you get to meet people like Matt from That Man Design Co. And you learn his story and how he came to be with his first knife design and with his company and stuff. And that re-sparks the joy and the excitement for me to 100 and 120%. And I feed off of that excitement for the next couple of months until I reach that fatigue again. So it's always the story behind the product that excites me the most. Is what I realized over the years.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I mean, honestly, for me, I think sometimes the fatigue isn't always just because there's an excess, but I think it's sometimes because there is, like, we're exposed to so many different aspects of it. And I think a lot of people look up to your work and look up to my work as well. So they are excited to show us these things. But by the time we see that thing, we've already seen like a bunch of other things. And trying to connect those dots at that moment is very difficult to do. So
Yeah.
I would rather, for me, it's like sometimes I think it's okay to see a knife and be like, yeah, that's really cool, man. Like, congratulations. But I can't just force myself to tell a story about something if I'm not excited about it. And I think that for us, that's where the fatigue comes from. Because if someone gives you a knife and tells you to take a photo of it, if you have no sort of attachment to that thing, it's hard to visualize what that's going to look like on a creative front. And that's what I struggle with my storytelling videos. There are times where I really fucking want to make that video. Like, I have the visuals in my head, but then I see the knife and I'm just like, damn, like, I don't like it. I can't, I can't, I can't force myself to make the video if I don't like the knife. So it all has to kind of work together in order for it to be this exciting thing. Otherwise, the fatigue sets in. And I'm just like, man, I can't look at this thing right now and like give you genuine thoughts. Congratulations, it's a beautiful design. Like, I'm proud of you, but I just don't have the capacity.
Yeah. But yeah, to come full circle again, I think that's also one of the advantages of working together is instead of me coming up with a storyline to tell in my photos and you coming up with a different story to tell in your videos, we can kind of go from each other's content or come together and tell a cohesive story with both photos and videos. And so that way we don't have to come up with different stories. And also for the brand, they get a more cohesive and coherent package. And it's just, at least in my opinion, it makes a product so much more interesting when you have a cohesive story. Or if you think of a product and you have an image of a lifestyle, a person that would use it, or a use case that would use it in. And I think us working together, we can create that so much more efficiently.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And again, it all kind of, it just plays off of each other in a way that makes us working on these projects feel easier. I can put all my heart and effort into a video and not have in the back of my mind like, hey, asshole, you got to take like 2 or 3 photos. Because then that kills me. I'm like here doing this video and I'm trying to like give it my all, but in the back of my head I'm like, shit, man, like, how am I going to tell a story through this photo? Like, I don't even know what set I want to use, the lighting. Like, I'm just going to plop them on a table and just like snap and done. Now I don't got to
but
do it.
that
Now I
way,
can be like, I
and
could be
no,
like, Sam, you do it.
that way everybody can do what they're genuinely excited about. And I feel like it reflects in the end product. Your videos turn out so much better when you're actually excited about them. My photos turn out better when I'm excited about the product, about the story that I get to tell. And so the overall end product for the client turns out so much better because each of us can do what we are really excited about and we're really good at. So
Yeah.
I think that answers the question what motivates us about our craft, I think.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. And I'm pretty stoked on the project we're working on now, dude. I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
stoked.
Yeah, that one's fun.
Uh,
We can't really tell what it is. I think did we sign an NDA? I don't think so.
we didn't, but I also don't want to spoil it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I started it and it's crispy.
Yeah, of course you fucking started it. I'm like here, like sweat dripping off my face, like scripting this thing, putting it all together. And Sam, in 2 days of getting the knife, he's like, "Here's 10 photos. I already did it." I'm just like, dude, I haven't even filmed shit. All I did was literally.
The funniest thing is we get the knives shipped out of the States. And I think we agreed on the project and we picked out the configuration 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And the knife showed up in Germany at my doorstep this morning before I had my second coffee. I don't know
Yep.
what wizardry they were doing with the shipment of that package, but I think mine arrived before yours did.
Oh, dude, mine is still out for delivery.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, yeah. Mine is still very much out for delivery, and it is thundering like crazy over here. So I wouldn't be
Oh,
surprised
perfect.
if this thing shows up at like 9 p.m. or so for sure. Yeah, I don't know what kind of insane witchcraft the guys over there did, but
Yeah,
whatever.
crazy.
Sam's just gonna be done. We have like a week to do this thing, and I'm just here
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Sam, I'm still filming the video, dude. Hold on, please don't send them the photos yet." I mean,
Dude,
the
you
bright side
survived.
is,
You
uh-huh.
survived Hell Month before Blade Show. You'll get through
Dude,
this too.
yeah, yeah, that was brutal. No, dude, I mean, at the end of the day, we judging from the Capcom project and even the Jens project, even though that's not like a solidified thing between the two of us
Mhm.
yet. I mean, we're still deliver everything on time. You just
Oh yeah.
move so much quicker than I do. But for me, I think I also stress myself out because I'm pouring so much emotion into a script that I want to make sure that what I say is correct. And sometimes I know I'm not saying something right, so I go back and reshoot it. So it's a little labor of love from me, but it's because I give a shit about it and I don't want to put out something that's just like not emotionally there, you know?
Yeah, but that's why your stuff is so good. Other people just shoot it, send it, and move on. And you just make sure that every single bit is perfect.
Thanks, man.
And
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
I like that.
yeah, dude, 100%. Well, if the owner of a company is gonna watch my video, I would hope that after they're done watching it, they feel happy, that somebody was as excited as they are about their thing. And I think when it comes to making it in this industry as a content creator, I think that's the emotion that you should strive for. I know that having pretty photos is important, but I think that knowing who is consuming that and knowing that you may be inspiring somebody or somebody's looking
Yeah.
at your work thinking that's incredible. Like that emotion is still very important to have to capture, I guess.
Oh yeah. 100%. I think that's what differentiates a good creator from a great creator when they
Yeah.
add emotion on top of just pretty pixels.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it's a hard thing to do. And even now, I mean, I wouldn't say that my videos are perfect. I'm still learning how to make them and how to tell the stories a little bit better in a more engaging way. But ultimately, that's always the core of every video is what emotion. I always ask myself, what do I want people to think about after they've watched this video? Because I don't want the
Mm.
video to be about buy this knife. It's awesome. I want them to like kind of sit and think like, man, yeah, that guy is pretty cool. Maybe I want to go and chat with him and resonate and maybe talk about something that they share. Like that's the core of every YouTube video is that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I mean,
Yeah.
it's no wonder that your work takes more time than mine.
Yeah, you're dying, dude. The script that I'm working on for this video, because for me, I typically I ramble so much when I try to put these videos
Yeah,
together,
no
and it's
shit.
mainly, yeah, I talk so fucking much, dude. So a lot of the times I have to use I use this thing called Poppy AI. So what I do is I write out everything that I want to
Mm,
talk about, and I start kind of putting together an outline of my script, like, oh, I think this is a good hook, and this is kind of like the bridge that I want. And then I go to the AI platform that I use and say, please help me shape this. Because I can't tell my ass from my elbow when I write it. It's just a bunch of fucking rambling. And once I get to a place where I'm like, okay, I can talk about this in a cohesive way, then I'm good to go. But that process alone is like 2 days. I'm researching for a full day, like trying to find all the information that I need. Scripting start roughly 2 days, and then I film one day and edit in the same day, so I can try and just get it all together. And depending
mm.
on the project, sometimes I sit on it for an extra day or two and watch it 3 or 4 times, and then I send it out.
Yeah, man. That's why I always struggled with video because I don't have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
My mind is more like I want it instantly. I want when I have an idea, I want to execute it. I want to edit it. I want to review it, and I want to send it all in the same day, ideally. But it never works like that. But still, yeah. Whenever I used to do a lot of Kickstarter campaigns, and so coming up with a Kickstarter video, writing the script, shooting it, editing it, sometimes even scouting locations to shoot them in. It's so much pre-production time. That's almost always what takes up the most time, and it's the most difficult thing of the entire video,
Oh yeah.
pre-production, and it's so
Yeah.
underrated.
Oh, dude, 100%. Like I've always wanted to write. I've always had a little passion for writing articles and blogs and stuff like that. But the
Oh,
issue I've
spoiler
always
alert! Rikki writes blogs on our website.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like I want to write more, but my brain moves a million miles an hour, like more than I can even
Mm.
speak. I'm trying to, which is why filming the videos is hysterical because people are like, dude, you're so fluid in front of the camera. I'm like, bro, if you saw how much I cut out of these fucking videos, because I script stuff down, but I script stuff down to give me a structure. I don't script
Yeah.
it down to read it word for word because I don't use teleprompters. I don't use any of that shit. I just use it to give me structure in my brain. And sometimes I go off the fucking road, dude. I'm like, you're talking about random shit. And I watched the video back, like the Anzo video. The
Mhm.
reason that I saved my ass in that phrase is because I shot that thing 4 or 5 times. I said that
Yeah.
in 4 or 5 different ways, so it saved me. But there's just no like I kind of just have to continue to go on this road and learn and remember to slow down when I'm talking and doing all these things to get better. But yeah, I like to write. I just think I my brain moves too fast.
You're using AI as basically an un-yapper for
Yeah.
you. It's un-yap AI.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of
That's what
people
it is.
a lot of people use AI to get ideas. I use it to remove ideas. Like I needed to literally take all of my word vomit and remove the stupid shit that I'm trying to say. That's actually a great point. I never I spoke with Zach, Zach Whitmore of Zach in
Mhm.
the Wild, and him and I were having this really deep philosophical talk about AI. And I was like, dude, for me, like I have to use it because all these things that I just said. And Zach was like, yeah, but like how many people are even using it for that? Like most people go and throw an idea and it builds a script. Like he's like, you are literally like the 1% of people who are maybe using it for that. And I was like, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I don't know if it's a compliment, but I guess I'll take it as a compliment.
That's an artificial filter that you're lacking.
Dude, yeah, it's fucking tough, man. But
I
hey,
mean,
it
it's
is what it
it's
is.
so funny when you used to work for Taylor, and you guys were at Blade Show. I talked to Taylor, and he's like, "Dude, you can't go anywhere with Rikki. All he do is yap, and yap all day." And now that you're not working with Taylor, but working for yourself, you're bringing Lexi with you, and Lexi says the exact same thing. Says, "Dude, if you want to do something with Rikki, do it right now because in 5 minutes he'll be yapping over there."
Dude, I love to yap. What can I say? I can talk for hours. This is why I let you start it off, bro, because otherwise I'd still be talking now. How'd you two meet? Well, let me tell you the whole fucking story.
When I was 2.
Yeah. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
I think what we should do is for the Nets podcast, we have a structured list of
That
what
we
we're gonna
won't
talk.
look at.
Yeah. To keep me in the I'll ask my AI to un-yap myself before, before I jump on the podcast.
Dude,
Oh
you know that there's AI for podcasts that will cut the unnecessary pauses and ums and ahs out.
yeah.
There has to be an un-yap AI that would just remove any random tangents and unnecessary thought processes.
My video would just be like, here's a Sabenza. It's great. And then that's it. The end. There'd literally be no conversation around it at all. I'm here just like 4 score CRK was found.
Dude,
The right.
we need a blooper reel with all the
Oh,
unnecessary yapping.
bro, I
It'll
thought
be
about
20
it.
minutes long.
I thought about it. And it's I can't remember who I was talking to. I think it was Sarah from Blade HQ, and she was like, "Do you like actually remember this stuff?" And I was like, I try to remember almost everything, like as much as I can, at least. So now I have this like database of really obscure knife shit. That's all I have.
Dude, that's a challenge for the next Blade show. Do you know more knife trivia than Rikki does?
It could be good depending on the company. Depending on the company, I know quite a bit. I'm trying to think of like what's. Oh yeah, do you? Oh no, you watched the video, so you know now. Like, how many people would know what the founder of We Knife did before he
Oh
started We
yeah,
Knives? Like,
I don't. I mean, I technically work for We Knives and I have no idea.
yeah, the
He's a
only
teacher, right?
reason, yeah, he's a high school
Yeah.
teacher. The only reason I
Mm.
even knew that was because I think I was researching. I don't think it was for your video. I can't remember who it was. It might have been like a banter video or something.
Mhm.
But I came across that and I was like, the fuck? A high school teacher? Like, why? What the hell?
Yeah, but
Oh,
that's some funny stuff.
why Bob
Or
Jazula
even
made the sheep's foot blade on the Mariner too.
yeah,
Who
yeah.
else is gonna know that?
I know that now because I edited your blog entry, the
That's
next
right.
one that will go up on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, you must come across so many or so much information, so much background information that nobody else has access to while researching all these videos, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, the problem that I come across a lot of the times though is that some of the stuff that I'm researching is from knife makers who have been making knives before the internet. Like,
Hmm.
luckily, Bob Terzula is like very highly documented because
Yeah.
of his status in the knife world. But Walter Brend, for example, like he is a legendary knife maker, but there's not much information about him online because he's been making knives
Hmm.
since like the 80s or even earlier than that. I can't remember now. But yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I love telling the history, but sometimes the history is like nearly impossible to find. There's a spider code called the Centifonte 3. The guy who
Hmm.
designed it was not online at all. Like to the point where there's no picture of him. I never was able to find a picture of how he even
Okay.
looked like. So for that video, I just had to use B-roll of the knife. Like there's no he passed
Mm.
away unfortunately. There's like an obituary, but there's literally no photos of this knife designer anywhere
Interesting.
publicly.
It reminds me of Snacks 10,
Yeah.
the designer of the Vision R.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any photos of himself on the internet either. Even on the We Knife website, on the designer page, where all the designers are listed with a picture and a little biography, he doesn't have a picture. He's the only one
Bill
without a picture.
Bill Koenig. Bill Koenig, to my knowledge, when I was doing the video for the Schwartz design that he did with Tactile, I was trying to use
Mm.
a picture of Bill Koenig to tie in the history of TJ. There's no pictures of Bill Koenig anywhere. The only one I found was like this
Yeah, now that
tiny
you say
little
it.
square photo on the Koenig knives page. I'm
Oh,
like surprised by the little amounts of information of some of these guys who are like legends. If someone needed a picture of you and
that's
I,
so funny.
they could go to our Instagram right now
Yeah.
and
They
find
will
all
find
sorts
pictures
of
of us
shit.
whether they want or not.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, dude. So that's probably one of the hardest parts. You know what? And cut me off if we're going over because I don't want it to be too long. But I did want to ask you something that I think everybody probably has asked you already, but I haven't. Uh, let's take the picture of the Capcom, right? Where you like
Mhm.
did the knife on the spacesuit hand. Where the fuck do you find a photo of a guy in a spacesuit holding his hand out like that? Or do you
You
make
don't.
it?
I make it. So it's Photoshop composition basically. It's stitched together from so many different individual photos that I find and source out from the internet. It's basically like when you research all the information for your video. That's me sourcing all the individual photos I need to stitch a photo like that together. So, for example, I found I think that photo. I think was it from the Capcom or from the was an older one. Either way, so I think it's made out of it's actually a diver's hand who was showcasing
A
some fish
watch.
that he caught. No,
Ah,
no. So it was just a selfie or a photo that a diver made from something that he found underwater. So I removed whatever it was underwater, and then I used different parts from different photos of an actual spacesuit to composite on top of that diver's hand to make it look like it's a spacesuit. So that's how I practically build and stitch together whatever I need.
that's
And
fucking
then
crazy.
yeah, and then I just use Photoshop techniques to blend it together and make it look like it was a photo in the first place.
That's actually fucking crazy. And it makes me laugh now because ProTech had set me the 250th anniversary Mordax. And of
Mhm.
course, Matt was like, can you take a photo? And I'm like, fuck. Like, yeah, okay, I'll take a photo. And one of my thoughts was, man, I wonder if I could do a photo like Sam, but he's wearing like a Civil War uniform and I can like make my hand all dirty. Brother, I tried for like 30 minutes and my Google search was Civil War uniform, guy hand. It was all sorts of, it was like
Yeah,
Civil
dude.
War uniform sleeve, Civil War uniform hand, guy in photo, selfie, picture hand. Like all sorts
Dude,
of random shit.
finding these pictures is ridiculously hard because
Oh.
not only do you have to find the right picture, but it has to be the right angle. It
Yeah.
has to be the right perspective. It has to be, I mean, you can change lighting to a certain degree, but ideally would have to be the same lighting that you need. And oh man, that can be so tedious, especially nowadays. If you have the right AI, you could probably just prompt something and it would turn out just as good.
No, dude. I'm telling you from experience, it doesn't turn out just as good. I I literally I went into the AI and I took a photo of my hand with that Mordax. And
Mhm.
no matter how many prompts I tried, it would keep messing with the knife. And it makes sense because the knife, there's not enough depth between the knife and my hand.
Yeah.
But dude, I Googled the like if somebody had looked at my search history, they'd probably wonder like if I have some weird like Civil War uniform kink because it was all sorts of it's like sleeve of uniform war, sleeve of uniform, whatever the fuck. And I
Mhm.
just could not for the life of me figure it out. So I gave up. I took a
Yeah.
picture on a
That-
whiskey bottle.
Dude, that's always the hardest part, especially these POV shots from the astronaut, for example. You see the astronaut's legs in the picture, and you will never find a photo of an astronaut shooting downwards onto his
Yeah.
own feet. Because as an astronaut, that's not a photo that you would take. You would take photos of everything else that you see or you work on, but you wouldn't take photos of your own feet. So there are no photos on the internet showing an astronaut's feet from his own perspective. So what I have to do is find pictures that are similar enough and then manipulate them to the point where they have nothing to do with the original picture. So I stretch them and distort them. And luckily enough, Photoshop nowadays is powerful enough to give you all these tools. But then, yeah, sometimes when you look at my process, when I go through the manipulation process and you haven't seen the finished product yet, you would be like, what the fuck are you doing, man? It looks absolutely crazy.
Your search history is way worse than mine. You're like
Oh, yeah.
astronaut feet, bear,
Oh, yeah.
astronaut.
I was going on feet finder, everything. I was trying to get the right feet. There has to be a cosplay feet fetish somewhere.
No, dude, just send an email to NASA and be like, hey, when you guys have when you guys have an astronaut on there, do you mind if he can shoot a picture like this so I can use it? You can license it, whatever you want, but I just need this shot, please.
Good. Actually, NASA publishes all their photos for free on their website. So when we were doing the Capcom shoot, I found the original photos of the Capcom console that I use in my photos. So I did a hand dump of my own hand and then used the photo of the original Capcom console to use in the background. So it looks like I'm the one at the console. And they get it out for free in high res. It's absolutely amazing.
That's cool. Yeah, I think this will be, Sam and I have talked about this already, but making this like little series within the Raven Artworks, like Instagram or YouTube channel, whatever we end up doing some like behind the scenes stuff where you share a little bit of the magic behind what each one of us does, because I think it's cool. I think it's worth sharing. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I think that's
the whole point of. What's that?
I was gonna say saves you the trouble of trying to Google astronaut feet. Just so you know, nobody will ever find astronaut feet. Sam has that locked in.
I've tried. No, I think that's the whole point of doing the Raven Artworks Instagram account or even this podcast. It's just to shed a little light behind the curtains of what it means to be a content creator, the ups and downs, the struggles, or the joys that comes with the work. And then maybe even a little behind the scenes of our workflow, what it looks like, how we do it, what our day-to-day work looks like. Because I feel like a lot of people have this glorified view of a content creator that gets paid to be on the internet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But then what they don't see is what we just talked about, all the research that goes into it, the work, the sleepless nights, and sometimes just being locked into your office for days on end without seeing another soul. So yeah, I feel like it could be interesting to show a little behind the scenes of what it means to be a content creator.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think, yeah, like you said, there's definitely luxuries, but there's also downsides too, right? Like stability and not knowing sometimes if it's gonna map out or not. I mean,
yep.
You could be at the top of the mountain 1 month, and then the next month you're all the way back at the bottom, and you got to rebuild. Yep. So it's definitely not all sunshines and rainbows. It comes with a lot of hardship, but I like that. Yeah, I like that idea. Maybe what we do next time is, now that we'll have an episode 1, we'll tell people, hey, ask us questions that you want to be featured on the podcast, and then maybe I'll get some serious stuff. But probably, yeah, I probably won't. I'll probably end up getting more hair routine.
Yeah.
Maybe people are gonna want me to put on astronaut boots on my feet. Take photos. Well, dude, I think this is a pretty good first episode. Maybe when I edit this, I'll think otherwise.
No, I think it was good. Especially going in without having a plan, like always.
Yeah. We'll clean it up. We promise.
We'll clean it up, yeah. Fix it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. Don't you worry. Oh, dude. Well, we don't really know how to close this out now, so.
No, we don't. No, but it was fun.
Yeah. Yeah, well, catch you on the next one, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Love you. Bye.
See you guys. Bye.
Oh. my God.